Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anyek and coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government files contempt suit against NLC TUC over protest. NLC confirms suspension of strike following Tinubu's intervention. Plus, Russia says it downed 6 Ukrainian drones near Moscow. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. We begin the news this afternoon from the national scene where the federal government, through the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has given digital money lenders 5 days to prove they are operating within its set guidelines. It also asked Google to remove 18 digital lenders from Play Store for violations of its guidelines. According to the FCCPC, compliance with its guidelines was now mandatory, and failure to do so was a violation of the law. The Commission noted that the 18 digital money lenders that it delisted and asked Google to delete were either operating without regulatory approval or in violation of the Limited Interim Regulatory and Registration Framework and Guidelines for Digital Lending 2022. It added that only digital money lenders that had regulatory scrutiny and compliance evidenced by written approval from it were allowed on Play Store. From the Red Chambers, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio yesterday unveiled 19 more ministerial nominees submitted by President Bola Tinubu. In the new list are former governors Boyega Oyetola of Osun State, Simon Lalong of Plateau, Bello Matawale Zamfara, and Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi. Others include Abdullahi Gwazo, Busun Tijani, Mariam Shetty, Aishiak Salako, Tunji Alausa, Yusuf Sununu, Ibrahim Gaidam, Lola John and Shuaibu Audu, Taya Maman, Aliyu Abdullahi, Alkali Saidu, Heniken Lokbobori, Maigeri Amadu, and Zephaniah Gisalo. Recall that the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, submitted the supplementary ministerial list to the Senate yesterday.
Requests for confirmation of ministerial nominees. These are further Section 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, and further to my earlier correspondence dated 27th of July 2020 for confirmation by the Senate. 19. Ahmed Tijani Kwazo, Bosun Tijani, Dr. Miriam Shetty, Dr. Isiak Salako, Dr. Tunji Alauza, Dr. Yusuf Tango Sununu, His Excellency Adeboyeka Oyetola, His Excellency Atiku Bakudu, His Excellency Bello Matawale, Bako Lalong.
On labor protests, the federal government has filed a contempt lawsuit against the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC for allegedly resisting an order restricting the unions from embarking on industrial action. The Solicitor General of the Federation and Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Justice Beatrice Jedi-Agba, had twice stated that the industrial action by organized labor was illegal, noting that there was a subsisting interim order restraining NLC from embarking on any industrial action. However, in the suit, which was addressed to the NLC President Joe Ajero, Deputy Presidents Audu Aruba, and the TUC President Festus Usifo, among others, the federal government and the Attorney General of the Meanwhile, the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC has confirmed the suspension of its planned strike following the intervention of President Bola Tinubu and the Senate. The resolution followed the National Executive Council meeting of the Congress. The National Treasurer Hakeem Ambali, in a message sent to newsmen, said suspension of protest is due to the Senate's intervention and meeting with President Tinubu. Recall that the NLC protest, which was held yesterday across the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, prompted an emergency meeting between the President and the Labour leaders. Yesterday joined the nationwide protest and strike action directed by the national bodies of labor movements in the country over hardships triggered by the removal of fuel subsidy by President Bola Tinubu. A correspondent, Esther Otoyo, completes the report.
Converge at the State House of Assembly complex at Udodoma in Uyo Metropolis with placards to deliver their grievances. Speaking at the venue, the State Chairman NLC, Sunday James, the School of Nurses to the College of Nursing Sciences, noting that
Mr. Speaker and members of the House, that Akwa Ibom State is the only state in Nigeria, I want to be quoted properly, that the Federal Education Authority asked that the School of Nurses should be converted to College of Nursing Sciences. All the School of Nursing in Nigeria have complied with this directive. Ministry of Health, Commissioner and Permanent Secretary are playing politics because they don't want to transfer that particular instruction of His Excellency to Ministry of Education. The benefit is that if it is with Ministry of Education, there will be telephone assessment for them to build their facilities. And therefore, if by December 2023, Akwa Ibom State government does not put in place covering council for School of Nursing to begin the award of HND, all the School of Nursing in Akwa Ibom will be shut down.
Also, the State Chairman of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, Dominic Abang, noted that the increase in the price of fuel has resulted to an increase in the cost of living of Nigerians and citizens of the state.
Today, all our minimum wage, they enter one tank of car. Yes, Government, you good? Yeah. You good? Yeah. How many say we don't job, bro? Because we trade come here. We work out empty bag come here. Right? We don't feel afford. Here we don't feel afford.
In response, the Speaker State House of Assembly, Udeme Otong, represented by the member representing Ikodekpene and Obodokara Federal Constituency, Jerry Otu, said every demand made by the NLC and TUC has been taken note of and will be forwarded to the state government for effective implementation. He pleaded for more time on the part of the state government for effective response to their demands.
So we are not going to remove one item from your demand. Everything has been written and some of you have recorded them. We can call for the meeting that we prepare and take it to the governor. Everything you have demanded, we are not against it. Respect your opinion and we'll pass it on to the appropriate authority and your answers will start coming. So just give time, you know.
In Uyo, Esther Otoyo, Spectrum News.
Still on labor matters, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoyeno yesterday announced that he has approved the sum of 1 billion naira for the payment of gratuities to the retired primary school teachers. Governor Ono, who made the announcement when he addressed the organized labor in the state who were on a peaceful protest over the effects of the fuel subsidy removal on the people, also announced that the sum of 800 million naira has been approved to clear the backlog of leave grants owed the workers, stressing that moving forward, he has also approved that leave grants be paid alongside with salaries to avoid unnecessary accumulation of entitlements. Earlier, the state chairman of the Nigerian Labour Union NLC, Sonny James, had said the workers were protesting against what they described as the anti-people policies of the President Bola Tinubu-led federal government. He stressed that there was need for the state government to meet with federal government to find out the beneficiaries of the monies recovered from the subsidy removal and ensure that the palliatives released by the federal government trickles down to all the states of the federation. In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Government and the Nigerian Navy have indicated readiness to collaborate with security of maritime environment to enhance the accomplishment of the blue economy and tourism components of the Arise agenda. The indication was gathered during an interaction between the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Pastor Moino, and Nigeria's Chief of Naval Staff, CNS Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, who led an entourage of top-ranking officers of the Nigerian Navy in a courtesy visit to Government House, Uyo. Speaking during the visit, Governor Moino welcomed the CNS to the state and expressed gratitude of the people and government of the visit and for premium given Akwa Ibom in Nigerian Navy's scheme under his command, while congratulating Ogala on his promotion to the rank of Vice Admiral. Over time, has been blessed with visionary leaders, and that the pursuit of the Arise agenda is with hope that the present administration will add reasonably to the development of the state's sea-based wealth. There was great need to partner the Navy to improve maritime security given the coastal location of Akwa Ibom State. In his remarks, this, he said, signposts a good thing for the state, given his timely launch of the very promising Arise agenda as his governance blueprint. According to the naval chief, Akwa Ibom State remains critical to the operation of the Nigerian Navy, both in the military and policing aspects. We move now to Africa, where the Ethiopian Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeke Mokenen has expressed concern over the worrying security situation in the Amhara region. Mokenen said the best way to solve the grievances is dialogue, noting that any other means will only hinder efforts to address the issues. And the region's state-backed paramilitary group and the military has been engaged in an offensive against armed groups in the region. Still in Africa, leader of the military coup in Niger, Abdourahmane Tiani, has condemned sanctions imposed on the country by the West African regional bloc ECOWAS, describing it as illegal, unjust and inhumane. Tiani insisted his government would not give in to regional or international pressure to reinstate Niger's elected president Mohamed Bazoum, adding that the French nationals had nothing and drones have been shot down overnight in the Kaluga region southwest of Moscow. The ministry in a statement said an attempt by the Krev region. It added that no casualties or damage were reported in the area. Still on the foreign scene, Ukrainian authorities have said that approximately 10,749 civilians have been killed and 15,599 others wounded in Ukraine since Russia invaded the country in February of last year. The head of the War Crimes Department of Ukraine's Prosecutor General's Office, Ivro Bleskrov, in an interview said the death toll includes 499 children. Beloskrov added that his team had recorded 98,000 war crimes committed by Russian forces in Ukraine during the invasion. Still to come in the news. Southern Hemisphere to host Rugby League World Cup in 2026 after France withdrawal. Do stay tuned for details after this timeout. Thanks for staying tuned, and now to the rest of the news. On our business news, oil marketers have said local refining will save at least 70 naira per litre off petrol price when it is fully operational. The National Controller Operations, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Mike Osatuyi, said this while speaking of the benefits of the federal government investing would be a great development for repairs to be completed as soon as possible to ease the stress and huge finance of importation of the country. He listed other benefits in employment. Still in business, no fewer than 7.8 million small businesses under the Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria have reportedly died within the last 2 years. The president's Asborn Femi Egbeshola disclosed this to newsmen in an interview. He said out of about 39 million existing businesses that are captured by data environment faced by business as the palliatives announced by President Tinubu for small and medium enterprises would have little effect if the environment remains harsh. We move now to our health news, where the World Health Organization (WHO) has called on governments across the world to carry out detailed, significant amendments to the World Health Organization International Health Regulations (IHR 2005) so as to be better prepared to tackle outbreaks of deadlier diseases and handle emergencies. According to the WHO, while disease outbreaks and other acute public health risks are often unpredictable and require a range of responses, the IHR 2005 provides an overreaching legal framework that defines countries' rights and obligations in handling public health events and emergencies that have the potential to cross borders. The World Health Body most recent amendments have yet to come into force. Still in health, the Lagos State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) has asked the Lagos State government to investigate the death of its member Dr. Daizo Nweve, who died in an elevator accident at the Lagos Island General Hospital, Oda, on Tuesday. The deceased, who was a medical house officer, was trapped for more than 14 minutes. The NMA, in a joint statement by the state chairman Dr. Benjamin Olowo Jebutu and Secretary Dr. Ismail Ojibowo, commiserated with the family of the deceased. They also directed doctors in the 3 government hospitals on the island to embark on an indefinite strike action until investigations are completed and justice is served. In sports, the Southern Hemisphere will be hosting the Rugby League World Cup in 2026 after France withdrew for financial reasons. Recall that France was awarded the tournament in January of 2022 after initial plans for it to be held in North America for the first time were scrapped. But organizers were unable to meet financial criteria set out by the French government, and in May it was announced they had pulled out. The event will feature 10 men's, 8 women's and 8 wheelchair teams. Still in sports, Lionel Messi has made it 5 goals in 3 appearances for Inter Miami as he scored twice in a 3-1 win over Orlando City in the League's Cup round of 32 yesterday. Messi scored twice from close range to maintain his 100% winning record with Miami, who were winless in 11 league games before his Dallas in Texas, offering a place in the quarterfinals of the tournament for top-flight teams from Major League Soccer and Mexico's Liga MX. On our entertainment news, Nigerian dancer and media personality Poco Lee has teased a new single featuring Kiss Daniel and Zinoleski. Reports say Poco Lee enjoyed fame as an artist when his collaboration with Porto is set for release on the 11th of August, and it will be the dancer's first release of the year. Still on entertainment, May, the estranged wife of Nollywood actor Yul Edochie, has reportedly filed for divorce from the actor. She's also suing him and his second wife, Judy Austin, for 100 million naira in damages. She's represented on the grounds of adultery, noting that she and Yul got married under the 1970 Marriage Act, which states that neither man nor woman can have more than one wife or husband at a time. Meanwhile, according to the DPA Family Law Clinic, Judy and Yul are aware of the lawsuit, having received copies of the suit papers by email. They also report that they have been avoiding the bailiff and due court process despite being aware of the suit. Channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum TV News at 12. I am Uyai Anek, and thanks for watching, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Good afternoon.
Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.